with silver and gold, we mentioned in Proverbs, are the ones who are going to get the help. When you are out there digging, when you're out there searching, Jehovah is going to give you the very wisdom and knowledge. Whereas those that just take it as face value and don't do any research or any digging, he's not going to give them the spirit to see any further. That's where the scripture says in Timothy that they're always learning but never coming to an accurate knowledge of truth. So the brothers, when inspired to come to realize something, they jump on that inspiration.
So when Jesus came and inspected, he wasn't necessarily concerned about the truth, just the...
No, not necessarily. He was interested in the truth. And there were some things that the brothers still adjusted. Like, for instance, years ago, the brothers used to have the cross. You know, we don't teach that Jesus died on the cross. They used to have that in the world headquarters. They come to appreciate that that's not how Jesus died on the cross. They come to appreciate what stauros means, and they come to appreciate what the word is, and where that symbol came from. Whereas before, Jehovah allowed that. Again, slowly refining them until the real product comes out. And he's going to continue to do that, and that actually separates us from all other organizations around the world. First century, there were things that Jehovah allowed, even though he was giving them his spirit and blessing. He allowed them to have high places right there in the midst of his true worship.
True worship was being filtered. They had the sacred poles in amongst, and it was being filtered. Brother T, do you have any idea what sacred poles are? And Jehovah would allow this to, filter their worship out? Okay. 1987 Watchtower, November 1st, page 11, paragraph 5. Under Holy God, Holy Worshippers. The religion of the people of Israel, acts in imitation of the deity, were regarded as service to the god. The sex goddess Ashtar had a number of men and women ministrants who were described as consecrated persons. They consecrated themselves in her service to prostitution. Adds scholar William F. Albright, because they're quoting from this book. At its worst, however, the erotic aspect of their cult must have sunk to extremely sordid depths of social degradation. The worship of phallic, sacred poles. So I'm going to stop right there. So these sacred poles were phallic symbols, just like witnesses would view steeples on churches today.
Yeah, the thing is you ask a Jehovah's Witness, how would you identify a modern-day Baal worshiper? And they'll probably start off something like this. Well, those tall steeples on churches are the phallic symbol. You keep asking them and talking a little bit, and they will say that they were worshiping the male sex organ, and that's what is Baal worship. And it's really sad because these Jehovah's Witnesses not have a friggin' clue what makes them stumble. But they also don't recognize that their Bible has changed. Because remember, when I was a Jehovah's Witness, I was spoon-fed the fact that the New World Translation has been validated by all the scholars of the world, and then they would print some bullshit in a Watchtower magazine. Bible. This is a better Bible. And so, with that thought in mind, let's read, because see, since they're in Ezekiel and they're talking about the restoration, this Brother T doesn't even talk about what made them stumble and why it was such a disgusting thing in God's eyes. Ezekiel 8, verse 17. Speaking to Ezekiel, and he went on to say to me, have you seen this, O son of man? Is it such a light thing to the house of Judah? Oh, wait a minute. I'm just going to forget Judah.
House of Bible students?
Have you seen this, O son of man? Is it such a light thing to the house of Jehovah's Witnesses to do the detestable things they have done here? That they have filled their kingdom halls with violence, and that they should offend me again by abusing children. And here They are thrusting out the shoot to my nose. Well, there's a footnote on the word shoot. And it says, or the branch, twig. Doubtless used in idolatrous worship. It may represent the human male organ. Talk about shoving the shoot to Jehovah's nose. Right here, here's the shoot. We thank you, Jehovah, each day. And they don't have a friggin' clue what they're involved with. They are worshipers of the male sex organ. There it is. The proof is in the fact that they changed the back cover. Not only did they get rid of the black brother with the penis, shoving it to Jehovah's nose, or God's nose, they got caught worshiping Baal, didn't they, Jehovah's Witnesses? They changed the guy, and they properly drew in the wrist. And every time one of you Jehovah's Witnesses sang from this book, you were not only shoving the shoot to Jehovah's nose, you were also praising and singing before while you were holding the male sex organ right between your fingers. We loyal love, God is love. Now, what Jehovah's Witnesses don't realize is you get their new silver sword. Because remember, in the old one, you know, the one that all the scholars validate, they have the word the shoot to Jehovah's nose, to God's nose. In their new one, remember, it was a far superior translation. He said to me, Son of man, do you see this? Is it a trivial thing for the house of Judah to do these detestable things? To fill the land with violence and keep offending me? Here they are thrusting out the branch to my nose.
Well, look at the footnote change too.
Yeah. Apparently the branch is used in idolatrous worship. They even got rid of the connection
with the phallic symbol.
The connection to the male phallic symbol. You people don't have a clue what makes you stumble and how disgusting this is in God's eyes. You don't have a clue because you want to live in the dark. You're on the path of darkness. You don't know how to enlighten yourselves because you're afraid to research.
Well, the thing is they're reading this prophecy from Ezekiel and applying it to themselves of being restored
as a restoration prophecy.
Yeah.
No.
But yet you don't see what, you know, what they were doing in Ezekiel.
Yeah, you don't see. This was not a prophecy.
Apply that to themselves.
No, yeah.
They won't apply
my
that.
goodness, but yet these Jehovah's Witnesses, they keep teaching like they're authorities on the subject. And yet they are so damn blind that they can look at this phallic symbol right here and say, well, people can see whatever they want to see. Really? If you're a current Jehovah's Witness, I have a challenge for you. Get some tracing paper. Trace out that black brother's wrist. Cut it out, and then stick it between a man's legs. And then tell me that people want to see what only they want to see. Just shoving it right up into God's nose.
Good point, dear.
Thank you.
We have more. We're sorry this is taking
sad.
so long, but there's so many good points in this study that, I mean, this stuff that he keeps throwing at Josh, and I mean, it's just unbelievable to us of how much he can get so wrong.
Oh yeah, yeah, exactly, because they are. What is it, that scripture that talks about every time they open their mouth, they lie? How can you tell when a Jehovah's Witness is lying? His mouth is moving.
Well, then they wonder why they can't keep studies.
Yeah.
Well, this is why. Because the people of the world are smarter.
Exactly. I mean, my goodness. If you went up to John Q. Public and showed him the back of your songbook and pointed out the phallic symbol, they would recognize it. They would say, oh my God, unbelievable.
They have.
They have. Because I put this to the test to worldly people. I just haven't recorded it. But I put this to the test to worldly people, Jehovah's Witnesses, and they readily see the penis right here that you guys are shoving to the nose of God.
Well, maybe it's time to go to literature carts then and ask Jehovah's Witnesses if they see
Maybe we
it.
should. Maybe I should do a bait and switch. You know, just go up and ask a Jehovah's Witness at a literature cart. Jehovah's Witnesses, how would you recognize whether Baal worship was alive and thriving in a modern day society? Because we all know that you say that the steeples on churches are the male phallics. Honestly, all you got to do is go look up obelisk and it'll say Baal's shaft, and then equate that with the Washington Monument. Oh, I get it. And then you're going to turn right around and eventually say it's all worship to the male sex organ. That's Baal worship. But you can't see this, can you? You don't know what causes you to stumble.